Welcome to Confessions of an SEO. This is Carolyn Holzman. Bottom line is this. I'm going to be honest with you about my experiences in SEO, whether it's client experience or what I see in my research and testing. Likely nothing you hear on this show is likely to be validated by corporate Google. If you think they're driven to have your business's best interest at heart, just remember that they're a multinational business that last year pulled in over $200 billion, and likely more than half of it from its paid ads division. So if you're a hardworking, conscientious SEO who feels like business owners don't really get how much you want to help them, I know how that feels. And if you're a business owner, I also get you, because before I was an SEO, I had a local business for decades. And it's my observation from being on both sides, if you're feeling confused or baffled by what you or why you would pay for SEO marketing when Google provides free instructions, I hope these episodes help you understand that I tell you this because this is by design. All right, so let's get started. Welcome to Season 2, episode 19. I'm calling this one the 2% solution, and that will make sense here in just a little bit. So last week, I talked about the news that Google was going to provide training to certify people for digital marketing. And part of that was, part of that training was also going to certify people for digital marketing, specifically SEO. Now, I know I said that I'm not sure how I feel about being tagged as small business. I much more prefer independent, not small. But the more I thought about the way the SBA, Small Business Administration, they defined small business by a company's revenue, somewhere between 1 million to over 40 million. And well, I think we all want to be a small business. So I told you that because I found out about all of this, I had applied to obtain some of the training certificates. And well, it worked. Now, these are scholarships that are part of an initiative between Grow with Google and the Small Business Administration. And I can report that it's true. Google is going to provide the scholarships or the free access to U.S. businesses and to the businesses who apply for these scholarships to train their current employees on how Google works. They estimate for each American company, they'll provide up to $100,000 in workforce training. Yay! Now, if you want to apply, there's a website. I'll put the link in the description. In fact, anything that I mention in here that I say has a link, I will put it in the description. I'll just read it out now. It's just grow.google/certifications for business, all one word. Now, it is only for U.S. businesses, so sorry to my non-U.S. business buddies, but now that I've said all that, this is where the plot thickens. There's some news this week, a little dust up, if you will. The subject matter experts may have let the cat out of the bag. Now, this should be where Google shows us pages that they have ranked, and I think they tried. And then an article from Search Engine Land was published this week, and I'll just tell you what the title was. Google's digital marketing course offers bad SEO advice. Yeah, I'll put the link in there. So the subject matter experts, the people who are teaching the course, they said 2% keyword density and a minimum 300 word count is an industry standard. Now, here's where you want to grab your popcorn, because when all of that kind of broke out and they were basing the reporting from the content of the course, I'll read a little bit for the article here rather than try and interpret it as I go. So it says, Google's new digital marketing and e-commerce certification course, which was announced May 2nd, includes cringe-worthy SEO advice so shockingly bad that one of Google's search advocates, Danny Sullivan, is disavowing it. What did they really say? Now, this is someone who posted a screenshot of one of the slides. And I decided, well, let me just see if it's still in there. And I logged into the course on the day after the article broke. And well, let's just say I got a strong whiff of bleach. So let the clutching of pearls begin. So what was so offensive that it could have been characterized as cringeworthy? So I'm going to read to you the exact words from the slide that's published that, from what I can tell, is no longer there. This is Google's official advice from the course. Now, that's from the person who posted the screenshot. Write more than 300 words on your web page, and your web page is more likely to be ranked higher in search engines if you write a higher volume of quality content. Next advice, keep your keyword density below an industry standard of 2%. This means that 2% of the words on the page or fewer should be target keywords. And be thoughtful about keyword placement. Your keywords should only be used once in the following places on each page within your website: page title, subheading, first paragraph, and body conclusion. All right, so now I'm going to tell you the person who tweeted that this is what they said. I mean, it's not their fault, I guess, but it's unbelievable to me. That's my editorial. So they wrote, seriously, write more than 300 words, ? And keyword density, ? I mean, keyword stuffing is bad, sure, but solving it by spreading SEO myths that SEOs try to eliminate, ? I know this course is very entry level, but exactly for this reasons, myths like these should not be taught. Did the SEOs in Google review the course? ? So let's have a moment of silence for the death of beliefs. Where to start? First off, I don't know which is worse. Google's continued insistence to teach to the level of mediocrity, or an SEO's calling keyword density an SEO myth as part of a ranking methodology. I've shared before that not only was I one of the first SEO testers, and this was completely based on Kyle Roof's testing methodology back in 2015, but to this day, I am at heart a testing SEO, and it informs my every action in SEO. When I first started testing it, I viewed testing almost like dessert. I did it after hours, over the weekends. It's how I have to do my gardening. I guess it's serp gardening. And Lee Witcher, was a lead tester for a few years at IMG, Internet Marketing Gold, he and I were talking, and I was sharing a little resistant locksmith project. And he said, why not use this situation for a test? Now, let's be clear, I did not test with the client's site. It was testing the idea of relevancy in a specific way, so I could easily slide over what I learned and use on that particular real-life situation if the testing hypothesis was proved to be accurate. So it was then that I felt like how Helen Keller must have felt when she made the connection between the letters of the word water and actual water. Now, some people call those aha moments. I call them Helen Keller moments. And as many of you know, it was a test, actually, because it ran for so long and still does today. I see it more as a research project. But the indexation breakthrough that I recently shared came from that history of SEO testing. But solving the problem of indexing right now, I mean, sometimes your test results, they're not so always darn useful, to the average site owner or to the SEO. But in this case, it really was. And absolutely none, zero of it, came from a Google developer document. It came from actual practical doing. And all that to finally share, if someone was interested in becoming an SEO tester, the very first test that they're asked to do is a keyword density test. And part of the reason we do this is because we know what the answer already is. These pages sort according to their keyword density. Boom. All right. So if you look at things that are already ranking very highly, you will see it yourself. You don't need someone from Google to tell you. Here's an idea. Get Cora software for a month. It's worth it. Now, I have a link. I have a short link for it. Yes, it's an affiliate link, but you will save 25%. The link is bit.ly/confessionscora. There's a density report in there. And don't worry, if you've never run Cora before, Ted is amazingly generous. He's the one who developed it. And he'll show you, like if you say, I want to look at this report, he'll get with you and show you how to do it. You can run reports and you can look at that density tab, and you will see exactly how it shakes out. So anyway, getting back to the training course, for Google certification, I was really looking forward to going through it. But clearly, if Google starts to even show at a basic level, as they say in Texas, how the cow ate the cabbage, it's going to go through the chopper of belief and be ripped out. Now, I may still go through it just so that I can say that I have. But if what I saw so far and how the curriculum can be altered by public outcry, I've got to wonder, what actual skills will any seriously seeking student really have in the way of SEO chops that have any chance of ranking a page for business after spending potentially months of study? Now, I'm trying to stay hopeful, trying to be positive, but I suspect that there may be a lot of business owners out there who may hire people with this certification to their name, but at the end of the day, feel even more frustrated with SEO and find it simpler to just set up paid ads. Maybe that's the ultimate goal. All right, before I leave you, I do want to update you on the latest from the mobile first test that I had mentioned last week. So in doing what I did not realize that the instructions on the main desktop site were not working and had not been working. Now, before I made the switch, instead of getting the mobile site on the phone, I was getting the desktop version, which is god-awful to say the least. So when I pulled my optimized material from the desktop site and put it on the mobile version, now that's a separate site installation. It's m.domain.com. That's not what it is, but just so you know, it's not on the same direct, it's on a subdomain. So when I did that, I also fixed the script that would have pulled the mobile version for visitors with different size screens. So bottom line is, now that things are working properly and there actually is a mobile site that gets pulled up when you go to with your phone, the main site is dropping. And I looked at the dates and they pretty much line up. The date of fixing that script and the date when the site began to drop. And I realized that I had assumed previously that the mobile site was what was being indexed. And now I can see what was probably happening is that the mobile site, now that it's actually being indexed, is still woefully less optimized than the desktop site, and clearly not by a little. So since nothing changed on the desktop, in hindsight, I should have fixed the redirect first and let that settle. Now, I don't think the result would have been the same. I think it would have been actually worse. So now I'm going back into it and I'm going to tune the mobile site way up on its optimization. Now, for you sanctimonious folks out there who think this means it's a failed test, you may have a point. But as I see it, testing is often more failure or inconclusive results. So this result now informs the steps that I'm taking now that should move it one way or another. Besides, if mobile first indexing is real and the mobile site is truly less optimized than the desktop, even with that little bit of help, then this happening might have just confirmed that mobile first indexing is a thing. That's going to do it for today. Thank you for being a listener. Thank you to the sponsors of Confessions. Please subscribe to Confessions wherever you're listening to it. It's on Audible, Spotify, and Amazon Alexa. And if you haven't settled on one source, you can simply Google Confessions of an SEO and listen right there in the SERP. You can't miss it. And if you want to keep up with the indexation research, check out Crawl or No Crawl on YouTube. I produce short reports most every day about what is happening in the test and with the bots. It's true SEO drama. And as I've said many times before, all of us stand to make more business and success together when both the SEOs and the business owners understand each other and Google better. It's been my pleasure to be your host. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the SERPs.